I just thought this game was very similar to the last game we played, except maybe role reversal. We came out and really punched Cincinnati hard and went up 18. But tonight they came out and punched us hard. But the roles were the same after that. They got up 13. We come down, and I think our biggest lead was 7. So we were plus 20. I mean, we outscored them by 20 at one point. We were up 18 on them, and then they came down and won by 10. So that's what good teams do, though. You know, we knew there were some things that we had to improve, namely rebounding from the first time we played them. But so I think it's a game our kids expected to win. You know, Cincinnati's really good, well coached, great culture, great program. Coach Cronin deserves a lot of credit for what he's done over the years there. He really does. But you know, our program's just come a long way. You know, I think back to you know, 2014 and what we had to endure that year. But every ounce of this credit goes to these kids. I can't tell you how proud I am of their toughness, their competitiveness, their grit. This is not a game that was ever going to be pretty. Not going to be pretty for them, wasn't going to be pretty for us. I think we're ranked in the top 22 or something nationally. I might be wrong. Seems like something like that defensively. And they're ranked in the top whatever. I can't remember. Top 2 or 3 maybe. So when you got 2 great defensive teams against each other, it's not going to be pretty. You know, I remember playing against Eddie Sutton's teams at Oklahoma State. I didn't worry about scoring. I was just hoping we got a shot and just get a shot off. Their defense was so great. And Cincinnati's is very similar. But you know what? So is the Cougs.
Kelvin, you've mentioned the journey and the ultimate destination, but to this step in the journey, how big is it for the program to have this kind of showing?
No, it is. You know, the coach in me knows we have 5 games left, and I know that tomorrow's practice is important to get ready for Temple. And the worrywart in me knows that from the time these kids leave me tonight to the time I see them tomorrow, they're going to have 1 million people tell them how great they are and pat them on the back, and then I'm going to get them down to earth tomorrow. We have a game Sunday. So I think there's a time and place to sit back and reflect and recognize how important the journey is to get here. But when you're in the middle of when you're in the middle of a race, you don't stop to say, hey, this is pretty good 50 yards, and we got 50 more yards. You know, we're in the hunt. You know, we're still in the race here. So, you know, it's not time to get reflective. I appreciate your question. I understand it, and it has been a fun journey. But I'm really, you know, focused on the task at hand now. Is see if we can finish the season off the right way.
Coach, what are your thoughts on the game you got from Noor tonight?
You know, I grabbed him at practice on who was our last game against? Tulane. So Sunday, Monday. I grabbed him at practice on Tuesday, and I grabbed him by one of those big old biceps he has. I said, Noor, you understand? I brought you here for this game. You know, play against these guys. You know, this is not a game for boys. This is a game for a grown man. Noor's a grown man. You know, having been through this league a couple times and having played against these guys with what we had before, wasn't a fair fight. How do you correct that? Oh, you recruit. You know, we've always been pretty good at that. But you recruit specific things. You know, we needed strength and bulk and toughness. And that's why we brought in as many bigs as we did, because we knew we had a plan for them. We've executed our plan. But this game was Noor's. Now, Noor's not going to play a whole lot against SMU because they play 4 guards, and their big man shoots 3s. That's not Noor's game. This game tonight is Noor's game. But he was brought here to play in games like this, and Devin Davis too. I can't tell you how strong Devin played tonight. Devin was a man out there. You know, I think Gary Clark probably, if I had a vote, I would probably vote Gary Clark Player of the Year in this league. That's how much respect I have for him. But Devin Davis might have been the best player on the floor tonight.
Coach, your emotions on securing a spot in the NCAA tournament.
How did you know we did that? Well, we'll wait till Selection Sunday to find that out.
Kelvin, obviously defense is such a big part of what y'all do, and it was no surprise that they had that stretch there where I think they went like 12 minutes without a field goal. What you guys did defensively on them, just to kind of change things up.
Yeah. Well, we spend a lot of attention. We spend a lot of attention on detail and scouting reports. Our double teams were excellent. Our crackbacks were excellent. The top of the eye was excellent. There's 4 things that have to happen when the ball's in flight, and they have to happen simultaneously. We've got to lock down the passer so they can't throw it out. We've got to take away the baseline. We've got to come from the middle with the hard double. Weak side guards got to crack back. Top guards got to take the top of the eye, and then we have to rotate again. But I just thought our execution of our scouting report was about as good as it's been. And you guys have watched this team grow defensively. I mean, we're a good defensive team. I thought we were really good on Sunday against Tulane. I thought we were really good the last 7 minutes against SMU. We've had some great defensive games. First 18 minutes there against Cincinnati, we were good. But we never turned loose the rope. They hit some tough shots to start the game. You guys come up here and sit down. Come on. They hit some shots to start the game, but Galen Robinson. Grab a chair, Devin. Pull it up here. Galen Robinson is a lot about the heartbeat of this team. I get asked a lot about Galen's stats. The next time I pay attention to stats will be the first time in the history of my coaching career. I don't look at stats. I look at winning plays. He makes so many winning plays. Once he got his motor going is when we got going. But these 2 kids up here, like I said, this kid was the best player on the floor tonight. And this kid here is a cold-blooded killer. He's just a cold-blooded killer. Has no fear. And he special players rise to the occasion. They do. They step up. You think about all our big games this year, Arkansas, Wichita State. I don't even remember Providence. I know we won. I just don't remember the game that much. Tonight, your tough guys step up to games like this, and these two kids here are about as tough as they get. Really proud of them.
Coach, what are your thoughts on Rob Gray down the stretch?
Yeah, there was a thought there. We got going when he was on the bench the first half, but we've done that before. That's why I tell people we don't live and die with a guy. Our best player in a lot of games is Devin. A lot of games is Corey. A lot is Armani. Look how many times Armani's our best player. But this is not last year's team or the year before. This is this year's team. The strength of our team. What's the strength of our team, guys? Our depth and our come on, follow the conversation, Devin, for God's sake. Jesus Christ. That's all right. He's still locked in on the game plan. But the strength of our team is our team and our depth, But I stuck with Rob because I believed in him, But I can't point to one guy. Noura's toughness and rebounding, Devin's overall play, 16 and 10 against Cincinnati tells you what kind of player you are. Devin, in my opinion, is an all-conference player. He really is. Corey is right there. When you play your best against the best teams, you're talking about special players.
For both of you guys, what was it like there at the end when I think you looked back and the crowd was already on the court, rushing the court? What was that like?
It's hard to describe, honestly, because I ain't never been through anything like that. And it was honestly just amazing. Like, my heart was beating the entire time. I loved it. But we feel like we worked for it. So, we just blessed to be in that position.
Yeah, it was amazing to see all the fans behind us after a win like that, and exciting, too, just to be able to celebrate with the other 14 guys on the team.
And piggyback on that, what are your thoughts on the crowd and how loud they were tonight, and just the number of folks in the building?
It was a number of stretches down the game where they carried us alone. Like, their energy just gave us more energy to get stops, get buckets at the timely times that we needed them. And it was amazing, honestly.
Yeah, hearing them chant defense, it really kept us locked in, I feel like. So thanks to the fans.
You guys have talked all season about what the goal is, to come in and beat the number 5 team in the country on national TV. Do you think this sends a message? I mean, do you guys feel like this is an NCAA tournament worthy team now?
Yeah,
or
we do, but we're still locked in. The season's not over. Tomorrow's practice probably the biggest practice of the year, and the next game on Sunday, that's the biggest game of the year against Temple too. So we gotta stay locked in.
Yeah, I think this win sets some alarms off in people's heads for sure. But we can't focus on this game, like it's in the past now. So we got to focus on our next game Sunday and get ready to play.
What were your thoughts when they started off so hot and had that big lead early?
You got it.
Just trying to figure out what they were doing to beat us. I think they kept ducking in the middle. They got it. Washington had got an and one, so we just had to fix some things and correct it and just keep competing. Coach said in the huddle we came out performing when we had to compete. So.
Yeah, I think our intensity level wasn't really there at the beginning of the game, but once our competitive juices started flowing, we kind of picked it up because we were playing lackadaisical and wasn't as aggressive as we normally was.
Corey, I don't know if you were in here when he said this, but Coach Sampson called you a cold-blooded killer. What do you think of that when your coach kind of that's what he thinks of you?
I mean, it's an honor. I mean, Coach Sampson's just a blessing, honestly. He teaches us, like, we learn new lessons every day with Coach Sampson, and he's just, to hear any praises from Sampson is just heartwarming to us because we know that he comes from a long line of winning, and when he says something, he knows what he's talking about. So I just appreciate everything.
Devin, what are your thoughts on the praise Coach gave you about should be an all-conference player?
Like Corey said, it's heartwarming, but we just gotta stay hungry. It's good to hear him say that, but none of it matters if we don't keep winning.
And what did you guys say in the locker room after this win?
It was a lot of bad dance moves and the water being thrown around. I can tell you that much.
Yeah.
But yeah, we were just excited about the win. We celebrated a little bit, but we all knew that we got to stay focused and get ready for our next game. That's really what it was.
What do you think you're going to do in the future? What do you think you're going to do? Oh, okay. I'm sorry. What do you guys think you're going to do as far as your practices and stuff in order to keep that intensity and to keep that focus?
Just focus on the scout, which is probably going to be rebounding and defending. So just stay focused and locked in on the little things.
Yeah, I think our intensity level in practice never changes. It's always tough practice. It's hard, and it never really changes. Like, no matter who we play, like we focus on the scout, but all our practices are hard and intense always.
You guys came out with a different energy after halftime. What was the message during halftime?
Well, we knew Cincinnati was statistics say they played better in the second half, offensively and defensively. So we knew we had to come in locked in and just ready to compete.
Yeah, we definitely had to come in focused and just be ready to play. Stick to the game plan and just play our hearts out. I think that's what we did.
Corey, you had mentioned about how maybe a win like this sets off some alarms or at least gets some. Did you guys feel like, I mean, at this point of the year, even with the body of work that you had, that you were still having to fight and claw for some respect or some attention that y'all were, a postseason worthy team?
Yeah, in all honesty, that's just the mindset we have. Regardless of what wins we get, we play like we're always behind, like we always got a point to prove. Like we're never just selling and just being lackadaisical. We're always just on our toes, ready to play, ready to get the next win.